Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along and we are going to be doing Shisha stitch. So Shisha stitch is a traditional Indian technique for attaching tiny round pieces of mirror or tin to fabrics. I don't have any of the little Shisha mirrors or tin pieces which look like, let me just show you from the book, which look like these. So I'm going to be using a button, and I've just, to make it a bit easier so I don't have to hold on to my button, I've just tied it on with one little piece of cotton which can be removed at the end. So I've also got some thread which I've tied a knot in the end of, and I'm going to start by laying down the foundation stitches. So I'm going to take a stitch across the top of the button, make sure it actually sits on the button. And then I'm going to take a stitch down from the top, maybe a bit further over. Let's just make sure they stay nice and secure. So do a stitch down to the bottom about there. And then I'm going to lay the next foundation stitch. So we're basically creating a little grid which will hold our button or our mirror in place. And then another one up to the top here. So we've got our grid. And so then I'm going to pop up just over, slightly to the right of where that last stitch went in. And I'm going to take my needle down so it's to the midpoint between these two on this side, which will lay a diagonal foundation stitch. And then I'll pop up just to the right of that stitch here, and I'll go down to the bottom, so I lay another diagonal stitch, and then I'll pop up just to the, in this case, just to the left of the stitch down here, and take it up to the midpoint over here to lay another diagonal stitch, and then I'll pop up just to the right of the stitch that's laying across here. Oops, my needle lost its way while I was showing you, and then I'll take that up to the very top. So we're just getting some even diagonal stitches in place as well. So at this point we tie this off, and that's our foundation threads in place. And then we get a new piece of thread. In the book they use two different colours, but they do say it's just for photographic purposes. So I think I'll use one colour of thread. I'm going to tie a knot in this second piece of thread, and then we need to come up halfway along over here. Actually, I think just to the side of that point, and then it tells us to take our needle under these two foundation threads here, and to pull through so we get a loop like that, and then we need to twist our thread to the left and put in a little parallel stitch here at the very edge of where your mirror or button is, with the thread under the needle so that you get a little loopy knotty bit. And then we're going to work our way round, passing our thread under the foundation threads with the thread under the needle, and then we're going to be twisting our thread to the left to make a loop, and then putting a little parallel stitch into the fabric like this, and then the same again, twisting our thread to the left to make a loop and putting a little parallel stitch into the fabric with the thread under the tip of the needle, so we get a little loop. And you're just going to twist as you go around, putting in your little stitches. And always making sure that your thread is under the tip, so you're getting your little loops. So twisting in this case to the, well, now it's kind of twisting to the right, but normally to the left, but we've turned it around, and then putting in our little stitch. Passing under our foundation threads, twisting our thread this way and putting in our next little stitch, always with the thread under the tip of the needle, so we're getting our little loop. Trying not to get caught on the embroidery hoop. I don't know if I need to be in the embroidery hoop for this one, but it's okay. And always keeping the thread under the tip of the needle. And then twisting the thread back the other way to get a loop for when you put in your little stitch into the fabric next to the button or next to the mirror. And then coming under your foundation threads again, then twisting the thread and putting in your little parallel stitch. I feel like my foundation thread has slipped down a little bit there, but I'll be able to pick it up. And then twisting the thread back so you can put in your little parallel stitch. With the thread under the needle. And then catching your next foundation threads. There we go. Almost caught them, then I lost them, didn't I? It's a bit like fishing for threads. There we go. Keeping the thread under the tip of the needle so you get your little loop. And then twisting the thread back in the other direction and putting in your parallel stitch. Took me a little bit to work out the instructions in the book on this particular thing. It's just I wasn't sure exactly which bit of foundation thread I was meant to be going through when I started. Just always finding those two bits of foundation thread, I think, is what the book means. And then twisting your thread back the other direction for the second loop when you do your little stitch into the fabric. And then finding your two bits of, I don't know if I'm meant to be picking up three, but I seem to have 3 bits of foundation. I'll just pick it up to be sure. And then I'll put my little holding stitch in place, keeping the thread under the needle when you put your parallel stitch in. And then catching those 2 bits of foundation, twisting the thread back on itself and putting in the next little parallel stitch, keeping the thread under the tip of the needle. Let's get rid of these little hairy bits. And then picking up the foundation threads again, pulling through, twisting the thread back on itself and putting in, I think we might almost be round. Keeping the thread under the tip of the needle so you get your little loopy loop, and I think we are almost back, but I think there's still another bit of the foundation thread. I guess you keep going until you feel like all your foundation thread has been sort of, I guess, woven in. It's kind of weaving it around, isn't it? and then put in our I think this will be our final little parallel stitch. And maybe I'll do one more because I can just see we've still got a little bit of gold showing on this side, so I'll just put a final one in, and I think that will have us done. And I've managed to just unthread the needle, but that's okay. So that's that there. Do our final little parallel stitch down here, and then take it to the back, and I'll be able to tie that off there. And then that is our Shisha stitch all the way around, holding the button in place. So now I should be able to take off my little tie, if I can get it to, and my button stays in place even without the thread holding it in place. So that's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that's given you an idea. Even if you don't have the little Shisha mirrors, you can get the same effect using a button. I thought you could also use these sorts of plasticky things, would probably work as well, or just other regular sorts of buttons would work also. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. We are coming back for Smocker's knot. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.